You're welcome. All right, Carly.
Hey, Dad, good to see you.
How you doing?
I'm well. I'm well. Hello, everyone. So happy to be here. And yeah, that was so helpful. The mapping from A to B. My mind just going, oh, painting that picture really fleshes it out, beyond words. Um, so I live in Austin,
Where's
Texas.
on
I'm sorry.
Austin, Texas?
Yeah, Austin, Texas. We're so happy it's actually cool here and not boiling lava hot. So I work with women who are in recovery from eating disorders, and particularly women who are healing from food addictions and from binge and overeating. And my question is about there's a book I'm writing. It's a book version of one of my courses. And look, my cat just came to join us. And I want to start a Substack for it. And my question is about how I integrate a Substack strategy with the other pieces, the the ways I support my people. And particularly, I have to be really mindful because I have some chronic illness I care for, and so I have to be really, really mindful of just monitoring my energy and my time and focus and not taking on too much. And I've still got two kids at home, so um, yeah, and I feel really passionate about writing this book. And um, my sense is that there would be people in my audience who would love to have that book kind of dripped out for them. Other pieces bring in income. My family could really use whatever financial support I can bring in. So it's like weighing those different pieces of the primary way I make income right now is leading online classes and online groups. So that is how I make, I'd say 90% of my income. I do some one-on-one coaching, but it's primarily group work. If I add in this other piece, yeah, just thinking that through as I plan my 2024, um, how I integrate that. I want to be mindful about not taking on too much. I do have interest from editors who I think the book is really ripe, so there's interest for it. And part of the audience for the book would be not just for my people. I'm speaking to people who are caring for eating disorders and healing from eating disorders, but also speaking to helping professionals, therapists, doctors, other people who are working, even family members, people who are working with those in recovery. So that's my question.
Can you say that question in one sentence?
Let me see if I can try it. How do I add a Substack to my current offers without confusing my people with too many offers and without overwhelming myself with having too many offers, too many buckets where I'm putting my energy, while also bringing in income to support my family and my business?
Yeah. Um, okay, well, I'm not necessarily an expert on the book publishing or the Substack space. One resource I recommend to everyone if you're thinking about writing a book is a fellow Dan Blank, wegrowmedia.com. He's wonderful. He'd probably have a lot more thoughts than I do on this. In
Okay.
terms of the not overwhelming ourselves, I think part of it is just making sure because if you're going to monetize Substack, I think you probably need to make some promises to your people about how often they're going to hear from you. So just don't promise more than you can do. Just, really sit with how often can I publish, how much, and
Mm-hmm.
then promise a little bit less than that.
Yeah, that's
Uh,
where I get in trouble. I tend to,
yeah. And
yeah.
then in terms of overwhelming your people, I don't know if it would overwhelm. I don't notice a concern in myself about that. But the thing I would do, so this is for everyone. If you're, whether it's videos you're doing or a Substack, or you've got your Instagram, whatever way you're sharing your philosophy, you're sharing your point of view with the world at the free level. What's really critical is that you find ways that it ties back to the rest of your business, that it's a part of the ecosystem, not some separate thing. So this could be in the Substack letters that your messages that you also mention, hey, I've got this course coming up. Here's a free call I'm doing if you want to join. That with every single thing you put out, there's some link to a next step or something they could pay for that they could take. And of course, it's not, untowards that every while one of the Substack things is just a commercial message of just saying, hey, everybody, just want to let you know some things coming up. You can do that too. But it's a mistake that people make, with the videos, not asking people to subscribe or click. It makes a big difference. Not asking people to share the videos, not ever using that channel to let people know about upcoming events. Whatever way we're sharing our philosophy, making sure that it ties back. I've seen people do whole intro workshops and never mention their website, never mention where people can find them or what a next step might be. And people are sitting there just wondering, like, hoping there's something, and then leaving assuming maybe there's nothing there. So those are some initial. The other thing I will say is this idea of a Substack or releasing a book in a serial fashion is a great idea. If you want to sell a book, the best way to sell the book to just cold folks is excerpts, just that people get to read it. Because if they, these little nuggets, people can then share and spread. And when I've tried to sell my ebooks, I've tried with a bunch of different things. And the thing that always worked best was me just putting up a photo and an excerpt of it. And then, then I would sell copies. Not a lot, but, I would notice I'd posted it and somebody bought. Very consistent, like every single post was worth at least one book sale consistently. And given the fact that it's just a cut and paste and an image, and it takes me 2 minutes, not a bad way to make $20.
Right.
And I'm trying to think, but yeah, so those are my thoughts on that. Beautiful work that you're doing. Thank you for doing it.
So helpful, because what you honed in on, it's that ecosystem. That's where I was feeling that clutch. Like, oh my gosh, how do I have one ecosystem then feeling like I've got 4 different ecosystems I'm trying to maintain?
Well, yeah, this is the best advice I give to anyone who's feeling sort of over. You've got so many ideas. Another thing you can do with all the ideas or offerings or parts of your business, get a blank piece of paper and just draw it out. Just start doodling it. A little flow, what connects to what? How does this fit here? How do you want it to fit? And just do draft after draft. When you're done, stick it on the wall, and every once in a while you just stare at it. Take an hour and just stare at it and just keep looking at it. It's like, what doesn't feel right? Like, what feels good about this? What doesn't feel good? What's missing? Keep looking at it, because sometimes what happens is we keep it in our head too much, and we have all these ideas in our head, all these projects and offerings in our head, but we haven't really mapped it out. And at a certain point, we got to get it on paper and map it out. And there's an immense relief that comes just from doing that. And then you can start to see, oh, this needs to connect to that, or these are 2 separate things, or this, you get the idea. But because the brain, I think, works spatially.
Yes.
It doesn't work so much just via lists. It works via image, and so if you can see it, then you can see the relationships between things spatially.
That's where I get stuck, seeing the relationships between things spatially. And then that helps me do just that other piece that was so helpful of the next step. I can invite them to this or invite them to do that. Yeah. I love how a lot of the answers I'm getting today is spatial mapping. Yeah. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you,
Well,
Tad.